up, everyone? Dr. Jesse, Superior Physiotherapy and Performance. Today I'm going to be showing you a self-release technique you can do very simply in the gym, at your house, specifically for your hip flexors, okay? So we just posted a video a couple days ago, Bigger, Faster, Stronger by Controlling Your Pelvis. Kind of went through why it's important, what your pelvis is doing and when, and why you need to be able to control that. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and check it out. It is very pertinent and relevant to what we're going to be talking about today with these hip flexor muscles. So this technique today, you'll see here I have a kettlebell, 15-pound kettlebell. You can use that or a dumbbell somewhere in that 5 to 15-pound range typically. I have a foam roller that we'll be using, and then I have two different mobilization balls here. One's a little bit softer, like a tennis ball type racket ball. The other one is a little bit more firm. So start with the softer one, similar to the other techniques we've shown you, like the piriformis release. Start with that softer one. As that gets more tolerable for you, you can progress to a lacrosse ball or a mobilization ball like the one that I have here. Okay. Today, those two hip flexor muscles we're really targeting, the psoas major and the iliacus. The psoas major actually attaches in our low back to our bottom 3 or 4 lumbar vertebrae, and it comes down and meets up with the iliacus muscle, which actually sits on the inside rim of our pelvis, and they have a common tendon, so they meet up and their tendon comes down and attaches onto the leg. So when we talk about hip flexion and hip flexor tightness, these muscles are deep inside our abdomen here and our pelvis. They come and run together and attach on our leg bone, our femur here. So what they do is they bring our leg up like this. This motion is hip flexion. Now they can move our leg like this, but if you think about it, they're attached down here, they're also attached up here. So if this part is stationary down in our leg and that muscle is activated or tight, it can also change what's happening in our low back. Think about it, pulling from this top side here. It's gonna arch your low back, and look what happens to my pelvis, that anterior pelvic tilt we talked about. So if you're getting any kind of pinching tightness inside your hip, maybe some knee pain, low back pain throughout the day, or with loaded positions when you're jogging, squatting, running, playing basketball, soccer, whatever it is, go ahead and give this technique a try. It's only going to take you maybe 30 to 45 seconds to do, and it's super effective. You'll know if it worked for you right away. So let's get into it. You're going to get down on the floor first here. We'll start with the softer ball like we talked about, and you're going to lay almost as if you're in a sit-up position, like you were going to do a sit-up here, okay? This foam roll is going to go behind the heel, underneath the heel, if you will, of the side that you're going to be working on. So I'll start working on my right side here. This ball, to position it to start off with, is going to go just to the outside of your belly button, maybe 1 to 2 inches. So we're looking about right here. Next, you're going to take your dumbbell or your kettlebell that you have. You're going to put that on top of this ball. Try to relax. Let that weight sink directly down onto that ball. Focus on your breathing and let that ball sink farther and farther into your abdomen until you can feel the pressure on that hip flexor muscle we talked about. These are really deep muscles, so you really need to relax and let it work through that tissue for a little bit. Once you felt like you're fully relaxed, you can feel the pressure on that muscle. You can then get an active pin and stretch mobilization here is what we call it. So the pressure of this ball is going to put pressure on that muscle, and then we are going to lengthen and shorten that muscle by moving our leg. So then that's where we're going to straighten our knee by rolling out that foam roller. You can hold it maybe 1 to 2 seconds at the end, and then you're going to bend your leg again. And then you're going to straighten it back down. You can go through this maybe 3 to 5 times, okay? Once you felt like it's loosened up here, you can move this ball a little bit, the mobilization ball. You can go as low as 1 to 2 inches below the bump on the front of your hip bone. So almost between that hip bone and your groin area. You bring that leg up again. Again, let that ball really sink into your pelvis area and through that tissue. Once you feel the pressure on the muscle there, then same thing. straighten that leg, roll that foam roller out, maybe hold it here for 1 to 2 seconds, bend that knee back up. All right? Again, as with most of the techniques I'm showing you, these are things that you can do simply, minimal equipment, take a minimal amount of time, and if it works for you, you're gonna know instantaneously. This isn't something that you're gonna need to do every day. Maybe initially, you may have to do it 3-4 days in a row, but after that, it could be every leg day or just whenever you start feeling that pinching, catching, tightness that you were feeling in your hip, your low back, or whatever kind of pain you were having. Give this a shot. Again, you're only gonna need 45 seconds to a minute, ideally, to do this kind of stuff. Let me know what you think. Find us online at www.superiorpt.com. Find us on Instagram at Dr. J Superior PT. Find us on Facebook at Superior Physio, and follow our YouTube page. And remember, when you feel your best, you perform your best.